All right, it's that time again for the Student Connection. Ladies and gentlemen, a big round of applause for Genesis Cabug. Woo! Coolio, good to see you again. Looking phantasmal bliss.
Like always.
Attention, poke, yummy, a Coke. So you might have seen this segment earlier about C-High TV. I know you used to be involved in that.
Used to. I actually still am.
Still are.
And actually this year, me and my co-host Anthony Chapman, we host our very own show. It's called The Real CHS. Yeah, we show the real side of CHS, technically.
And I know you just started that this year, so you've only had a couple episodes.
Yeah, we've had a couple of episodes, and they actually worked out pretty good. We got really good reviews from them. Yeah.
So I should quit. Like, what are you gonna take over the show now?
You know, I could totally host for this show if you wanted me to.
Fine.
Really?
Fine. Yeah, sure.
Okay, I guess I will.
Yeah.
Walk
see you
off.
later.
Well, then I guess he's not gonna be gone for long because I'm gonna introduce him. I call him Mr. Host, but because we're professional here on the Unite Show, let's welcome Jim Keating.
Hook a brother up. Can I get something a little smoother, a little
smoother, a little like groove in the groove?
Yes.
Yeah, here we go. Ready?
Okay, let's try it again.
Oh.
How you doing, girl? Oh, wait. Ooh-wee.
And didn't I just say that we were professional, and here you are coming in all like...
No, that's true. That's true. All right. This is weird. I got too much chair. Too much chair for me.
Kind of cool.
Kind of. It's weird and isolated.
But we want to know about you, okay? So, first of all, where were you born? How about that?
Linwood up to no good.
Where's that?
Linwood, California. It's what some people might call the hood.
Oh.
St. Francis Hospital in the house.
Okay.
Big shout
well,
out.
I have a question. I mean, I know that you're really funny on our show.
Yes.
You are.
True
We
story.
laugh when you joke.
True story.
So,
True story.
I'm wondering, have you been funny all your life?
The sad answer is yes.
Yeah, you have. So people always laughed at your jokes.
That's true.
You never heard cricket?
No, I hear cricket a lot, but it's kind of like it's like the Babe Ruth, right? You swing 1,000 times, right, and you miss 400 times, but 600 of them you're knocking out of the park.
That's cool.
That's me.
That's a good way to put it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
So
I've just gotten used to the rejection over the years too.
Oh really?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
So like in high school, were you always like the class clown, or how that worked?
You know, not really. Like if I I grew up in Cerritos, so I've gone to ABC schools my whole life, and I was always, I don't want to say funny, but I mean, I guess that's just the easiest way to put it. And it mostly just becomes it comes from where my brain looks at situations and finds the humor in it. You know, finds the funny observation or the funny thing.
Okay.
And when I was younger, that got me into trouble. You know, and my teachers weren't angry at me for being bad. You know, I wasn't rude. I wasn't mean. I didn't cause problems. But I was disruptive all the time because as they were trying to teach and saying things, I was always out. You know, it was, constant outbursts. That's what my mom would always get on my report cards. You know, and as I've gotten older, I've learned to control it a little bit.
Really?
A little bit.
Well, that's good. I mean, at
Sure.
least it's a little. But isn't I mean, aren't you a teacher now?
True story.
You are, huh?
But you know, in some ways, I think it helps me relate to my students, and it helps me kind of have more patience with the ones that I look at and I go, I can see me in that student, you know. And I have more patience for someone who's still doing the schoolwork, because I was always a pretty good student.
Oh, that's good.
And so, you know, I'm willing to put up with the jokes and stuff if the student is still doing well. If they're DNF and messing around, then I go, you can't afford to be messing around because your grades are so poor.
That's cool. I would love to have you as a teacher. I mean,
it's good times.
Where do you teach?
Ross Middle School.
Okay.
Falcons.
Okay.
Falcons Pride. It's also the middle school I went to.
Oh, really?
We were the Indians then. Headdress.
Wow.
That was a good one, huh?
Yeah. What high school did you go to? Cerritos High School, right?
Mighty Dons, we know this girl.
Yeah,
Come on,
1990.
Yes.
Right. I'm right. Oh, that's
yes, awesome. I know.
Have
Many
you-
of the same teachers are still there. It's very odd.
Do you ever visit Cerritos High School?
Yeah, because I have some colleagues, friends that teach there now. So, you know, we talk. I see them at, you know, parties or whatever, or little kid birthday parties.
Oh,
Good
okay.
times.
So you host, you actually host the Unite show. How did you
This is true.
get chosen to host this?
That's kind of an interesting story. Is so by accident.
Really?
In that at Ross every year we have a big kind of a bandorama thing in the springtime. At Gar High School they use the gym there, and like all of the different music program auxiliary pieces, you know, like the orchestra and the jazz band and the strings and the beginning band event, they all get a chance to play.
Okay.
Well, the band director, Jimmy Brink, said, well, would you mind hosting it for us? And I'm like, well, whatever, it's fine. I go out, I say, hey, here's the beginning band, and I walk off. You know, it's no big deal. And so he asked me to do it, and I said, sure. And at that time, I think Dr. Colin Sprigg was looking at kind of revamping the district show. You know, they had a show previously, and they were looking at kind of changing it. And I understand there were some people there who had spoken to him and said, oh, you should see this guy. He was funny, whatever, like that.
Right.
And so he contacted me, and we met, and he asked me if I was interested, and I was like, sure, you know. And
you've been doing it ever since.
Ever since. It's been a lot of fun.
So you do some funny jokes on here. Like, do you just make it up on the spot, or do you have a plan and already? Like, how does that work? Like, that's so good.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I make very few things up. Most of my comedy comes from improvisation, and I did stand up for a couple years, and I've performed at the Comedy Store and the Ice House and the Irvine Improv, which is funny because they don't really do improv there; it's all stand up.
Right.
And I performed at those places, and I used to do stand up, but it wasn't fulfilling for me. I felt like really, I was like, you're almost begging, you know. And some nights were really great, and I felt great, and a lot of nights I was like, nah, I don't really like this. And at the same time, I was doing improv, which you know is like it's acting, but you make it up on the spot. There's no script. You know, if people have ever seen like Whose Line Is It Anyway?
Yeah.
That's a great example of how improv works. And I've always loved that. I've loved working with other people who wanted to be creative and make up stuff. And a lot of it's funny, but it's not always funny.
Right.
And so that kind of goes with who I was built as a person, you know, the way my brain works, and then having the improv schooling, like training, so then you hone that skill of like to look for pieces and to bring things back, and just some other kind of comedy training.
Oh,
so
that's cool.
yeah, it's just, you know, it's like my brain's always searching. It's like it's always searching for like comedic moments.
Yeah.
Because ultimately for me, you know, I like people to laugh and be happy. So it's like if I can do that, then I enjoy that. You know, like I enjoy making other people laugh and have fun.
Well, you're doing a good job because you always keep the set alive,
you,
so it's really cool.
Well, a dead set, I'd have to work all the equipment then. See, I did it right there.
That was funny.
No, see, that was one. That's why I missed.
That was one where I didn't get it, but I laughed because I thought it would be nice to laugh.
Kind.
Yeah.
And I'll totally take, you know, like We Want to Be Nice to You laugh.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
Because it still makes you feel good, like, oh, at least they're trying to be nice to me, right? Yeah, that's true.
No
but
shame.
you know what? I think our time's up today.
I think it was up like probably 10 minutes ago.
Probably, huh? But you talk a lot. But it's okay because I talk a lot too.
True
when I'm
story.
being interviewed, right?
That's true. I know. Now I'm over here.
But I love your job. It's kind of cool listening
Thank
and
you.
stuff. Thank you so much, though, Jim.
Thank you so much.
Mr.